Let's talk to Benjamin Anthony now, who's Israeli policy and security analyst, because over in Israel, of course, there's a slightly different effect of anti-Semitism, where they keep getting attacked by all sides, everywhere around them, whether it be the Houthis, whether it be Hamas, whether it be Hezbollah, rockets bearing down on Israel. The latest story from your part of the world, Benjamin, is that Benjamin Netanyahu appears to defy his ex-army chiefs, and he says that he wants to actually have a new Gaza offensive ongoing. What's the latest on that? Morning.
Morning, it's nice to be with you. Just before I dig into that subject, I want to draw the viewers' attention to the images behind me. These are the images of the hostage, Eviatar David, who was kidnapped, an innocent young man. He's being held in the tunnels of Gaza. The world has moved on from the images that Hamas released, but we have not moved on from those images here in Israel. We haven't forgotten. We will not give up. This is a young man who was forced to dig his own grave. It is important that the viewers see these images, and this is what this young man looked like before these depraved terrorists kidnapped him. Healthy, full of life, full of happiness. This young man and all of the hostages must be brought back home. Most importantly, they must be released.
Yes, and I mean, much of that seems to have been forgotten, doesn't it? I mean, obviously we've seen those images over the last few days, and the horrific images that they are, and it has been obviously condemned by all good, sensible people, and yet by some other people it's been kind of accepted as part of the scores of war, if you like, or the inevitable effect of Israel's actions in Gaza, which baffles me. I don't understand anyone who would think that is in any way acceptable.
Well, you're absolutely right, and you said that good, sensible people are shocked by the images that you can see behind me. But then there are the foolish people who are completely lacking in a spine, people like the non-Prime Minister of once Great Britain, Sir Keir Starmer, who absolutely rewarded those who peddle Jew hatred and anti-Semitism, those who talk in genocidal terms in the streets, as I said, of once Great Britain, with assurances that if Israel doesn't come to heel to the diktats of this British government, in September he intends, Starmer, to go to the United Nations and to declare recognition of a Palestinian state that does not exist, nor has ever existed. And the reason that this is so troubling is that if Starmer had any intestinal fortitude whatsoever, if he had the basic capability of standing up to the so-called bullies in his government, people like David Lammy, what he would actually do is he would have looked at the horrors that have befallen our hostages, he would have looked at the horrors of the massacre of October the 7th, and he would have declared thus: unless Hamas ends this war by releasing all of the hostages it still holds inside Gaza, the living and the dead, and promptly disarms, in September, Keir Starmer, as the Prime Minister of Great Britain, will announce that forevermore, under his government, any notion of Palestinian statehood will be removed in its entirety from the docket of British foreign policy. That is what he should have said. He is so weak, so spineless, so supine and so chinless that he managed to find his way to exactly the opposite of what is good and what is sensible. And just to go back to your earlier segment about the spread of Jew hatred, these people who are anti-Semitic, who are harassing Jews in England, Australia, and elsewhere, they were there before October 7th. But let me explain what happened. They saw the one sure thing in the landscape of Jewish existence, the state of Israel, as being vulnerable after the massacre of Hamas. And as a result of that, they thought, if the state of Israel is vulnerable, perhaps the people of Israel, namely the Jewish people in their own borders, might be vulnerable as well. And so they became unmasked, they became unrepentant, they marched and called for the genocide against the Jewish people. And the tragedy of all of that is that not only have they learned that they can do so with neither penalty nor punishment within the borders of countries such as Britain, but in fact, as a consequence of statements like those of Keir Starmer, they will be rewarded for doing so It's a dreadful, dreadful shame. And I have to tell you, this Prime Minister and this government reflects in no way whatsoever the wonderful country in which I grew up, the country to which my grandfather arrived just prior to the horrors of the Holocaust, the country that historically had been so very good to the Jews who sought succor within its borders. What a terrible turn. And I wonder how Keir Starmer might respond if somewhere down the line, as I suspect will be the case, there's a call from the town adjacent to the city in which I grew up in Leeds, maybe from the town of Bradford, for it to declare independence as the Islamic Republic of Bradford. I wonder if he'll be quick to grant statehood and independence to that entity. Well,
you do wonder, and the things have turned out so strangely in this country that you don't know the answer to that question. But isn't it also a bit curious that Starmer's wife is Jewish, we understand, and so therefore his children would be considered to be Jewish, and yet he has taken this particular stand?
No, to me it's not odd at all. I'm afraid that Jewish people who are addled and unsure of their own Jewish identity are as old as the religion of Judaism itself. People also should recognize the Jewish religion has a trinity. It has the Torah, our holy book. It has a God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and it has a land. That land has a name. It's called the land of Israel, and it's there that we live. And it's that land that we're protecting. And going back to your item on Bob Villan, calling for death to the IDF, there are two things people should be aware of. First of all, that chant has now spread. In St. Louis, Missouri, cars were burned in a Jewish neighborhood, and death to the IDF was scrawled on the asphalt of the streets there in the United States of America. So this type of hatred travels very, very swiftly. And also, I would say to Bob Villan and anyone else, you want to say death to the IDF, I invite you to come and try it. This is a Jewish people that loves peace, that wants quiet, that wants to exist in peace with our neighbors. But if you threaten us, if you try to massacre us, we are not like the Jewish wife of Keir Starmer. We will stand, including on our hind legs, in order to defend ourselves, protect ourselves, and it's in that process that we're in the very midst of right now. So it's very easy to spread rhetoric and nonsense from a stage among stoned concert attendees in Glastonbury. You come and try it, Mr. Villan, and you will see just how determined the members of the IDF, who are the people of Israel, how determined they are to prevent any such chance from ever becoming reality again.
Well said. Benjamin, thank you very much for talking to us. Benjamin Anthony, the Israeli policy and security analyst, making some incredibly good and powerful points there about what is going on in that part of the world. We'll keep you updated, of course, with all of that as it happens.